Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. We have a special guest on the show this time. Her name is Debra.
Hello,
Debra.
Hey,
And
hi.
Debra is from a friend podcast of ours.
One
and
of
I'm
our
going to let her.
closest friend podcast.
We love these girls, yeah. And they love us back, and that's why they're on the show. And we're going to be on their show. Joshua's going to be on their show.
Oof, I'm nervous. Hopefully, I may back out.
No, it's going to go just
No,
fine.
you can't. You're too funny. We need you. It's great. Yes,
Oh,
thank
that's
you
a
so much for
compliment.
having.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell us about your show?
Sure. Well, first off, my name is Debra,
Hello.
and I am coming from the podcast Spark My Interest.
It's such a good show.
Come on.
Thank you so
one of
much.
my
Thank you for
favorites.
listening. We there's three hosts on the show. It's myself, my twin sister. Yes, we are identical. That is always the next question I get. Her name is Diana, and then our good friend Jessie, who we kind of have a running little joke throughout, just saying she is the Jess of all trades because she can literally do everything.
She is.
Come
She's
on.
super
We
smart.
are.
Electrical engineer. I mean, she's got a whole knowledgeful background. Sorry for
She
interrupting.
can do anything. There's nothing the girl
I
can't
mean,
do.
y'all
So
are
she-
smart too.
Thank you. Like, I guess you're okay. Yeah. So we're entertainment news kind of podcast. We basically find something that has sparked our interest individually throughout the week. And then we go on our podcast and we share it with each other. And then at the end, we vote on who sparked the most interest.
There's so much
And-
good stuff on that show, though. Like the combustible lady.
I know.
Y'all did the story
That
with
one was
the
crazy.
horse and the guy named Rooster breaking into the house. A headline that we also did.
Exactly. Some of our best stories have come from Florida,
Amen.
obviously. It's a little bit of a crossover there. Thank you for submitting that one, Josh. I
Okay.
don't remember what episode that was,
I
but
don't either. I listened to
yeah,
all of
it's
them.
just
I can't stop.
it's a simple formula. But if I had to wrap us up in one line, I would say we are the podcast that brings you the stories you never knew you needed to know.
Come
Amen.
on. I agree
Wow,
with that.
that's gold.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is gold.
Well, Deborah's
That
going to
is
be joining
gold.
us this entire episode. She will be hanging out, and most importantly, she'll be taking over Cameron's job.
Whoa, what?
She'll be doing the
Hello.
headlines.
Headline.
I'm going to have to do some fact checking,
Okay. Oh, no.
but I'll.
You know what? I actually have all of where I found my information.
Oh,
Come on. She
That's
came
gonna be
prepared.
You cite your
I came
sources?
prepared.
Who does that?
We got to
I
start doing
absolutely do. You know, it's funny because I'm excited to take over the headlines.
Yes.
It does feel close to home.
Yes.
Just kind of digging around, finding crazy stories.
For
'cause
sure.
That's what we do on Spark My Interest every week. So thank you, Cameron, for allowing me to steal your thunder this week.
Thank you for
I
putting
know
me
I
out
have
of a
some big
job.
shoes to fill.
that. Not much
Yeah.
to steal.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so headlines
Headlines.
for today. So people do some pretty crazy things in the name of love, wouldn't you guys say?
Yes.
Amen. I eat a Scottish egg.
I mean, exactly.
Exactly.
So this Florida resident is no exception to that rule. So this headline
Yes.
comes to us from theclickorlando.com.
Come
I
on.
love the click
Says-
Orlando.
Florida man
Yes.
carrying nearly 500 grams of weed
Oh.
tries to steal plane to meet girlfriend.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
That's actually kind of sweet.
That is a love story.
Yeah.
It's a little sweet, but let me kind of tell you a little bit about it. It took
All
place
right.
on Saturday, June 20th.
Oh, Rip.
This man snuck onto the new Samara Beach
Yep, you nailed
Municipal Airport.
Smyrna, you got it.
you got it. You forgot
Smyrna,
the R,
right?
but it's okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
You got it.
He's 22 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
Snuck onto the airport property, and
Oh.
he was found crouching on the wing of a plane station.
That's scary.
Oh,
I know. I don't know how he got up there, and I guess
what's
there was
on the
no
ring?
security.
What's on the wing?
Isn't that from a movie?
It is
Thank
from
you.
the Twilight Zone.
Thank you. See?
God, you
Yes.
two.
jeez.
He was spotted by a flight
I
instructor,
hope
and
so.
he asked this instructor, "Hey, how can I fly this plane?"
Oh,
jeez.
well,
So,
That's usually the
yeah.
first question.
I love it.
It's usually
It is.
classes.
It
I
is.
think you have to sign up for classes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a whole thing.
They're expensive too.
They are like 150 an hour or something.
definitely. So why not just go in and ask? You
Amen,
know,
baby.
I'll
I think
sign up
so.
for the class. Just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask.
So obviously the man was reported. So
Okay.
when the police arrived, He was sitting in the aircraft, and they get
wow.
up there. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Do
And
airplanes
he
have
asks the
keys?
police.
Do you know, Debra?
I know. I don't know how he got in there, and it doesn't go on to explain, but he got in.
I feel like
And so he
airplanes don't
asks-
have keys.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah, maybe they're keyless
maybe it's
entry.
like face recognition or something that
geez.
like that instructor opened it already, and he just got in.
Hey, man.
But the cops got there. He asked them, "Hey, how do I fly this
No.
plane?" And then promptly jumped out the emergency window and was detained by police afterwards.
He didn't
Come
even
on.
When
get
they
this
asked
plane
him
off
what he
the
was trying to
ground?
do, he fell to the ground.
Okay.
He fell to the ground.
Jesus.
So they took him in, and when they asked him what he was doing, he said he was trying to take this plane to go meet his girlfriend in, ironically, California.
No.
No, come
What?
on.
Yeah,
Now, will a small
a
plane
long-
make it?
That's a long trip for your first flight.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
And
I
Josh
think
is
once
on to
a
you
little
get
something.
overzealous.
up there,
Josh is on to something. Small planes don't even make it to California.
That's yeah.
So he was
You gotta
confused from the
refuel.
get-go.
He had a lot of marijuana on him, but he also had
In him?
a little pipe that was found
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
that tested positive for methamphetamine. So
Okay.
That is what I was looking
perhaps
for.
it played a role.
I think that was
Perhaps
the
it
key
played a
to the
role.
plane as well.
And that's the motivation
that
for the
was-
whole story, not
Yeah.
love.
He
Meth.
used the pipe to break the window.
Meth.
Yeah. If you smoke meth, you can get into anything.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I've
That's a
seen
fair
him break
point.
into pawn shops with just a meth bong.
Yeah.
What do they
Right.
call it?
A meth bong.
Meth
No.
bong.
You had it right.
I'm not the expert on this.
That's Florida.
the-
Leave it up to
Yeah,
Florida.
Defer to us.
Yes. Okay, so next headline.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That one's great.
All right, so I know you like to keep it current, but every once in a while, Cameron, you kind of jump around. So I found
Oh,
one
man, she is
from
a
2014
listener.
that really spoke to me.
Okay.
Oh,
Really
nice.
spoke to me. If there's one thing that I fear most in this world, it is spiders.
Oh, I was going to say
This
leprechauns.
headline came from the Orlando Centennial and it was published in February of 2014.
Love
The
it.
headline is Florida man tattoos spider on face to combat arachnophobia.
Oh,
come
God,
on.
That's never.
Now that's kind.
That's
courage. I would call it courage.
But-
Yeah.
if you have it on your face,
Yeah.
you
It.
can't. See
How
it.
often are you looking at it?
Thank you. Yeah, I never
Right.
look at myself in the mirror.
No.
He
You
was
guys
doing
know
it for
this.
other people.
Oh,
I
he had
think
a
he was.
family.
So if they
of
have arachnophobia, he's going, hey, look at me. I'm okay.
Okay.
The spiders are okay.
I think they're called arachnophobiacs. Is
right.
that
Right.
is
The
that
spiders
true?
are called that.
Okay.
Josh used to be in a band
Arachnophobiacs?
called the Arachnophobiacs.
Yeah. It was
Be a
Free
great
Willy and the arachnophobiacs.
Yep.
That's perfect. Well, this guy, his name is Eric Ortiz. He's from Deltona.
Hey.
He got this giant tattoo of a black widow of all things, a
Oh,
black
come
widow
on.
The queen.
tattooed to his
queen.
face. And his quote was, when asked why, he said, just to make me know that that's what I fear, but not to fear it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sure.
Sounds like a sentence he would say.
So his girlfriend was apparently not impressed. During the time, his social media, after this was published, it said that his social media status did reflect a single status.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
she didn't want to wake up to that every morning. I don't blame her.
No,
that's-
No.
yeah,
Who
Or be
would?
seen in public.
that was one of the things that motivated my divorce.
Oh,
Face tattoos?
Yeah.
She
spiders
got
in
a
the
face
house.
tattoo.
Yeah, it was temporary, but still, she's like, "This is it. It's the final."
Yeah.
I had a mozzarella stick.
What?
Tattooed, fake tattoo.
And she just couldn't handle it.
yeah, she couldn't handle it.
It was henna. You got it from the Renaissance
I
Festival.
did. It was fun trip though.
He had a mozzarella stick on the left side and his favorite Bible verse on the right side.
Uh-huh.
And she just said, I can't.
She's
Couldn't
I
do it.
can't look at you and be serious.
It's very conflicting information
She
there,
loved
you know?
cheese though. That's
Right.
the thing. I thought she's gonna love me forever.
That's
Yeah.
the thing about my sister. She loves cheese and hates Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I
So
thought she was a
it's just-
Christian cheese lover, but
I was thinking it
not.
was a double whammy too.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That's probably
The
it.
Christian cheese lover. Okay, so I have one more.
That's a dating
And this
site,
one I thought,
actually.
just because I'm coming from California, I thought I might spice things up a little
Come
bit.
on.
Let's do it.
Bring
Love
it.
Spicy.
Well, I think the craziest things happen in Florida, and I'm not here to argue that. However,
Okay.
if there was a contender for second place,
California.
I think it would be California.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So this is about a California man,
Okay.
Ooh,
kind of to support my theory.
Yes.
The headline is California man allegedly caught eating body of relative.
Come
Oh,
on.
woof.
This comes from
gross.
Fox
That's
News.
where I
It was-
crossed the line.
Now that's
you
true
guys go
love.
hard out there.
That's
You go
true love.
hard. Which body
Well,
part does it say?
hold that, and you'll
Okay.
hear what relative it is
God
here.
bless.
This comes from us from Fox News on June 2nd on 2020. Took place in Richmond, California. Police were called to the residence just in a report of a disturbance. It doesn't say what.
Oh, God.
So when they arrived, they caught 37-year-old Dwayne Wallach in the act of cannibalizing his 90-year-old grandmother.
Come
Oh,
on.
jeez.
Mhm.
How much meat is even there at 90?
Yeah, it's not tender either.
No.
That's a valid question there. It's a valid question.
Yeah.
Some tough stuff.
Not a whole lot of details left.
No,
It's
baby
just
back ribs,
drugs
really.
are suspected to have played a role.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and for my own sanity, I really pray God,
she was
pray to
passed.
God that drugs were involved because
on both ends.
I don't know how. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I hope she was out.
It was a murder, then and then consuming.
ribs. Yeah. What body part do you go for though? Like if you're in the mood,
Oof.
The belly.
the belly? No,
I think so.
Wayne loves pork belly.
I feel like
though,
there's
so-
a lot of bacteria there that would be the
Yeah,
last.
you don't want
place
to
I
cut
would
into
go.
the belly.
If
You
I'm
want-
thinking about like if I'm eating a human being, I'm not really getting. Yeah, I'm just like I'm looking for that meat, the sweet meat.
I'm cheeks all day.
Right.
I think it's safe to say he might belong in the shame corner.
Oh, for sure.
For eating your
finally.
grandma, yeah, for sure.
Bing, bing, bing,
He'll be the
bing,
first
Eating your
California
grandmother.
man in the shame corner, I think.
That's amazing. I think
Just
he
don't
deserves it.
Eat
Dwayne
anybody
Wallach.
in there though.
Yeah, just we'll go in there and behave yourself.
Yeah, no blades are allowed.
Yeah,
in the
no
shame
blades.
corner.
Go hang out. Think about what you did.
Yeah. Do you think he tenderized it first?
Oh yeah, with one of the little
I
food
think
hammers.
he dug in there.
Mm.
I think he was just in it
I'm
raw.
I'm gross. Oh, I'm grossed out.
God.
Do you think the ear is chewy? Hey, fellas.
Hey.
And
Josh.
Deborah.
Deborah,
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for continuing to join us.
part of the family now.
So I got a letter.
Okay.
Her name is Samantha,
Sounds
Okay.
beautiful.
and she says, I couldn't go to my dance because of COVID.
Come
Oh
on.
no, that's super sad.
And
I feel
even-
bad for all the
I
seniors.
even bought the dress, so I may
Yeah.
have to use it in my wedding.
What color
Oh,
was
wow.
it?
That's weird. It was white.
No. Yeah.
Which
you
With
got a
pearls.
ways, Samantha. You
hopefully.
take some time.
That style's going to be gone. But
Yeah.
Do you guys have any funny or embarrassing or terrible dance stories that would make me feel better about missing my dance?
Oh, for sure. Look at us. What do
Yeah,
you think?
look at it. I
you think we
signed-
did well at dances?
Any dance that we went to was probably terrible.
Yeah, signed danceless.
Except for
Samantha.
Deborah. Deborah probably did well.
Danceless Samantha.
Yeah, it's very clever, Samantha. Thank you for writing in.
Sam, thank you so much. My dance was really boring, but I had a date. My friend had a date, and we were there like all of maybe 3 or 4 Flow Rida songs.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So probably the first 3
Was
songs.
this at the Christian private school?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were edited.
What was
Oh,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
Flow Rida song camp?
Uh-huh.
that you really enjoyed.
Flow Rida.
That's it. You know,
Such
you're
a-
thinking of Low Riders.
Yeah.
Oh,
He said Flow
okay.
Rider.
Yeah.
Flow Rida.
There it is. Yeah, we were there maybe 15, 20 minutes. And
They played 3 Flow Rida songs?
They're
in
short
15
songs.
minutes? Okay.
I mean, long songs.
Slow Rida.
when in Florida,
When you're in
Come on.
Florida. And so my buddy and his date, they kind of came over to me and they were like, "Hey, do you think your date would be down to leave here and have some fun?"
Oh.
That's
Yeah, if you want to pray some more after the dance.
No, at the time I wasn't praying. I was fasting praying, and so
Okay.
I
that's
said,
a
"Yeah,
good
That's
choice.
still
Let-
praying though.
let's get out of here." And so we go to our limousine,
Uh-huh.
Have some fun though.
and I'm thinking we're gonna have some fun. Like, what's that look like? So in my 17-year-old boy brain,
Are you
I'm thinking
monogamous?
we're gonna be kissing.
Okay.
Yes.
Ew.
And that's it.
That's
all 4
it.
of us
Yeah.
kissing.
Lockdown.
And this is no joke.
a quadra kiss. if you
Quadra
will.
kiss. Thank you,
I
Deborah.
didn't know there was a word for that.
Oh, there
didn't
is.
know either.
There is.
You haven't had a quadra kiss? Come on, Josh.
I've never.
You're not
I-
living.
I haven't
Californians,
lived.
man.
Well, Wayne hasn't either because we got in the limousine,
Uh-oh.
and turns out the fun he was referring to was cocaine.
What?
Yeah, no joke.
Was this guy like 40 years old and from
No.
the 70s?
He was my age, and it was so awkward because like I knew him, but like our dates were
How
friends.
do you get your hands on cocaine? Really, I'm asking.
It's a it's a private school, man.
Oh, okay.
You know how that works.
Yeah, free flowing.
Cocaine is.
Yeah,
everywhere.
so our dates were friends. I didn't know him that well, and so we got in the limousine. I was really
nice.
uncomfortable. I will
Did
say
he have
this:
a mustache? I picture him with a mustache.
he had a beard. He had a beard as a senior,
At
which is impressive.
17?
Yeah.
Did it have dust
Oh,
on it?
my
Like white
goodness.
dust?
Yeah,
That's
he did. And I will
Oh,
say
yeah.
this:
That was the giveaway.
The awkward part was when we got to where we were going.
Was
we had,
after you did the cocaine.
No, we had to tell the driver where we had to go somewhere. So we went to Starbucks, and I got out and said, "I'm gonna call my mom," and I waited for my mom to pick me up
That's
because
probably, yeah.
I wasn't doing cocaine.
Oh,
I guarantee you the driver had the cocaine,
It could have been.
and he offered it to the 17-year-old, and then they
It was like a
to you.
2-for-1 deal.
I think
look,
so.
You get the limo, you get some cocaine on the side.
That was my prom story.
It's
yeah.
going to be a very quick drive. I'll drive fast. I promise. I can't help it because
You're-
of cocaine in
You're
my
clean
system.
now, though, right?
I am.
Okay.
I've been.
After you
I've,
called your
I've been clean
mommy.
for 35 years.
Thank
After you
God.
called your mommy.
My mom came and got me, and she goes, "You don't want to do any coke?"
Why would she say it like
I
that?
know.
She's so mean.
Moms.
coke?
Cameron, you have any bad ones?
All of them.
Yeah.
But probably the worst one
Yeah.
was when I think I was 16, and I
Aw.
honestly didn't think about this until Wayne brought it up. But I think we might have had a limo too.
Probably.
Come
White,
on.
Just to
white
brag.
limo.
yeah. We
Uh,
were blessed.
And so here's the thing: this was homecoming, okay,
Oh,
not
okay.
prom. So this happened in the fall,
So you were the king.
and this was like, oh yeah, I had multiple offers. And so I took one, and I had all these plans. We're gonna go to this dance. We're gonna take pictures, all that kind of stuff. Well, 2 days before, my stomach. I woke up in the middle of the
What?
night. My stomach was just hurting.
Oh, you got that nervous. You're
Okay.
nervous about showing off your white boy dance moves.
Exactly.
little
I was
tum-tum.
like, this is just like nausea, whatever. I go to school. I'm hurting all day.
Yeah.
Can't barely walk.
Just go potty.
Exactly. So
Go boo-boo.
I go home. I mean, I'm in so much pain.
Uh-huh.
My dad's like, "You're fine. It's gas."
Because you never had
Oh.
gas before?
No, I never had it that bad, at least. And so my mom is worried about me.
Yeah,
like
bad
all
gas.
Yeah, my mom's not trying to get me to do coke like Wayne's.
Oh.
And she
Hey,
takes
watch
me
it.
to the hospital. I have to get my appendix taken out.
Oh my gosh.
Before the dance?
Yeah. So the day before, it happened in like the middle of the night.
Your dad
middle
should
of the
have just
night.
punched you. He could have punched that gas out.
I think that's
my dad
what
did.
ruptured it. Actually,
Is it?
Yeah. So I had to get my appendix taken out, and then the next day was a dance. Well, I don't want to wuss out.
No, you
Right?
can't stand your dance up for an appendix
Well,
removal.
That's the problem. I could barely stand up
Oh.
in general.
Come on.
So I go to the dance.
Yeah.
I kind of hobble in.
Oh, with a cane?
They
Like a
cut me open,
walker?
obviously, and then put me on some. I took some meds before I left. I'm
They have
like,
to cut you open for that? Because they
they're
told me
taking
that.
they're taking an organ out of
An
you.
organ.
Yes.
I heard that if you just do a jackknife in the pool. Yeah.
No, I don't
it
think that
comes
works.
out on its own?
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that anymore.
No.
But so they cut this out of me. I go to the dance. I'm like hobbling. I knew I was going to be miserable.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how miserable I was going to be.
Well, when they played Do the White Boy Hobble, you probably nailed it.
I nailed that. That was the one dance that I got right. But
Yeah.
I go in.
They had the Soldier Boy, and you're like, I can't participate.
Exactly.
And they're like, do the white boy hobble. Do the white boy.
There's just a blood trail coming out of his
Blood
pants.
trail.
So I was just miserable. Everyone wanted to dance with me, obviously.
Right.
Luckily,
Like
he had a
king.
red
couldn't do it.
cummerbund on. So that really helped.
It
right?
was rough. I literally sat in like a chair the whole night, just moaning. I was in so much pain.
I have questions.
Oh,
Let's hear 'em.
you can ask. It was
what
bad.
was
though.
the recommendation when you had the surgery? Like, hey, you need to
Yeah.
take it easy for
Doesn't the doctor
how long?
say something? Like,
Uh,
you did it, champ. How about you don't do anything for
I
3
think it was
months?
probably 5 to 7 weeks. Oh
Right.
no, I think it was like 5 days. But I'm like, I couldn't miss out.
Right.
Right.
out.
I was like a
Right.
junior. I only had 2 more. Right.
That's-
What
So,
was your date's thoughts on this?
well, my date was okay with it,
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't want to.
because twerking had just come in, so to have
Right.
a seated date at the time.
Exactly, and the way that the place that they cut your appendix out is on your belly button,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
where you twerk at
Right.
your belly button.
Well, that's where you receive twerk.
Yeah.
That magic button was not
that
working.
belly-
Anyways, that's my experience. It was pretty rough. So
She's like, "Is that your belly button?"
yeah,
Did they,
Are you just happy to see me?
yeah. Well,
She's
So
like,
did they
"These
call an
twerk
ambulance?
moves."
they didn't. No, I just suffered
Of
through for a
course. He
couple
probably
hours.
walked home.
yeah.
I did the white boy hobble on the way out too.
Do the white.
He's a legend, bro.
So that's mine. What about you, Deborah?
Beat that.
Oh man, I can't beat that. Never had to have an operation and go to a dance. But
on.
I'm just sitting here thinking I have several stories, but I think the weirdest one is it actually took place. It was my sister who actually lived it, but I got to
Okay.
watch it.
Okay,
Oh,
that's even better.
that's probably better.
Yeah, being a bystander to this, I guess. So we were show choir girls. We were in the swing choir.
Come on, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Swing
And,
choir?
yeah,
What's
loved
a
it,
show
loved it.
choir?
You don't
Sorry,
know
I'm
what
not.
show choir is?
No, I'm not from the
Like
singing
all
community.
jazzy dancing, 12
Sing
guys, 12
and
girls.
dance.
Right.
Sing and dance. You have to sing and dance. That sounds exhausting to
Yeah,
me.
do the
Yes,
white
it's
girl
good time.
hobble.
Do
Right.
the white girl hobble.
Something like that. Well, anyway, we had a swing show and it was fun. We loved it. We had a
Sounds
great
fun.
choreographed routine. So anytime we were at a dance function and something like, what were they called? Cherry Poppin' Daddies, like something like
Whoa,
that would play.
Ska?
It was like, oh man, we gotta dance to this. So
Yeah.
one of our good friends,
Uh-huh.
Mike, he was so
Oh,
wonderful.
Mike, he sounds a dream.
He was dreamy. I had a crush on him forever. And it was one of those things where you'd be like, I think I like you. And he'd be like, but we're good friends. I'm like, okay.
Okay, Mike.
We did that for
Shove
ever.
off, Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so he was Diana's dance partner
Oh.
during this swing thing. So every time a swing song would play, they'd have to dance.
Yeah.
And so he had done the worm. He was very popular.
He did the worm?
He did the worm.
Oh,
He had won. I think he won like
jealous.
prom prince that year. This
Come
dance.
on with the worm.
I
Yeah. So
believe
he does the worm and he cracked his chin open.
No.
And so he's like, oh no, like I'm bleeding. I gotta go. I'm
That's
gonna
an
need
incorrect
stitches. So
worm.
he's leaving,
Yeah.
and this song comes on. Unbeknownst to us, we don't know he's bleeding, and so he comes running out. He's like, "We gotta dance!" And
Oh,
so
he was dedicated.
he was dedicated. So they dance, and like halfway through, Diana's like, "What the hell?" There's like blood going everywhere.
Oh my
Come
gosh,
on.
Carrie.
Blood.
God, what a
Nebraska way,
dedicated
apparently.
boy.
So so they finish this dance, and he's like, "Okay, I gotta go to the hospital."
Oh
What?
gosh, that was me. I just
No.
came from there.
I know. So
Jesus.
a little bit of blood in your story, and a lot of blood in mine.
Oh my God.
I love
don't
that
have
Mike.
any
I love that
blood.
Mike fought through it.
Yeah.
He
And-
fought through like a champ.
What's he
Yep.
doing today? Is he still out there dancing?
I hope so.
I hope so. I like to
now
think
he's
of him like
married and
that.
has kids, and I think he's just more of a responsible adult now.
Mm,
Just-
that's no fun.
But he's got a big gash on his face.
Yeah.
Now his face healed. He's still beautiful.
Probably
Oh,
like
okay.
probably like a
Yeah.
Superman butt chin now.
She's too nice.
Now he's
Yeah.
now he's
I'm
more
I should have
handsome.
said, yeah, he was deformed.
He's
Yeah.
He's not listening.
He's
Don't
even
worry.
uglier
You can
than
talk to
before.
him.
No, not Mike.
Huh.
All right,
Not
Josh.
dreamy Mike. Oh well, mine doesn't hold a candle to any of y'all's.
There's no blood.
Let's
No-
go and wrap
no
it up.
blood.
Then.
No
Okay.
cocaine.
I mean, there's arson.
Oh, let's
no
go.
blood.
I'm interested.
Okay, so
you had me at.
it's
arson.
middle school. It's the grade where everybody's mean as hell.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. So
middle school. Yeah, the
I,
whole grade.
I walked to school from about third grade till about 8th grade.
Okay.
Different schools, but
Right.
I lived in the middle.
Okay.
Elementary on one side, middle school on the other.
Sure.
Mhm.
So it's middle school. I have to after school. I have to walk to the dance.
Okay.
They have dances in middle school.
Yeah. This was like a winter formal, and I was going to join Cotillion. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that.
We
but
have.
then
Yeah.
I never got a ride because my dad. Anyway, long
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, we get it.
So I go to this winter dance,
Okay.
and I didn't have a date because it's the grade where the boys are on one side, the girls on the other. Nobody's in the middle. Nobody's
Right.
doing the worm.
No.
Baptist.
so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So awkward.
But they're playing Flo Rida
Right.
Oh.
even before he
Rida.
even comes out.
Right.
I think they played Thong Song, which seemed inappropriate.
It is.
Oh, it still is.
It still is inappropriate.
Mhm.
I mean, who shaves their head and paints
Exactly.
it silver? That's so gross.
Right.
So I'm there and I'm in new dress shoes, but they're super slick. So I entertain myself by sliding across this waxed floor
Come on.
because nothing. And I'm going to speak for girls now, Deborah, if that's okay.
Okay.
Nothing gets a
I'll
girl
correct you
going
if you're wrong.
like seeing a young man slide across a waxed floor.
I've heard that.
Right.
Yeah. So I would run and I would slide and it would look cool.
Right.
And all the girls would swoon and faint
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
And, like, whistle.
Coolest 12-year-old ever.
Yeah.
This
barking
sounds
at- barking at
believable
you.
to me.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
believable.
I'm there, I'm sliding, and some other friends are trying, but they have grippy shoes on.
They're wearing cleats.
They're wearing cleats and stuff like that. So naturally, one of my best friends at the time was a teacher because I was really cool. And this teacher's working the admission booth.
Yeah.
So he
Okay.
has a fold up picnic table.
You hand in a ticket. We get it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And so I go, hey, Mr. J. And I take probably a 50-foot run.
Oh,
And
no.
I slide 20 feet and I go, Mr. J. And boom, I slide right into him. The table flips.
No.
Cash goes everywhere. Tickets go everywhere. And then I was like, oh, sorry, Mr. J. Let me help you clean
That's
this
how
up.
you lost your best friend.
That's how I lost my best
Yeah,
friend.
but you got in free, right? You didn't have to hand him a
I was
ticket.
already in.
You're like, oh, that was my ticket right
I
there.
was in.
Oh, you're already in. at
Yeah,
this
I
point.
was impressing women's and men's.
for hours.
Yeah.
I was impressing the DJ.
Did you stay? Were you mortified? Did
No,
you
I
leave?
left. Yeah, I instantly left.
I was out of there.
Yeah, that was my exit admission. So on my way out, I see a guy who looked like Billy Corgan. He was kind of nerdy. He wasn't as cool as me. He
From
didn't have a
Smashing
teacher.
Pumpkins?
Yeah, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins.
Right.
He didn't have a teacher as a best friend like me.
Right.
But he's like, I saw what you did in there. That was funny. And I'm like, okay, okay, Sam. So he's like, you gotta, you're probably walking home, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, let's go check out this ice cream. I mean, this ice cream, this Christmas tree booth. Because
How did you mistake those?
Is it ice cream
I'm
or is it
thinking
Christmas
about, I'm
tree?
thinking about ice cream. Sorry. So because I didn't want to walk home. It was cold.
Right.
And so I was like putting off walking home because it's a mile.
Yeah.
You know, I'm husky.
Yeah, I know.
So anything to not walk.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe someone will see me like a sad puppy and offer me a ride home.
Right.
But I think after I wrecked the admission table. it
No,
was
they're
kinda
done
like-
with you.
Yeah. So me and Sam go to this.
Is this the same Sam that wrote the story in?
What?
Samantha?
No, different Samantha.
okay.
This is a boy Sam. This is Sam Boney. So
Sam
that's
Boney?
that's his real name.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
Hang on.
Sam Boney.
What is his name?
His last name was Boney. I don't know. It could have been French, could have been like Bonnet, but everybody called him Sam Boney.
Yeah.
And
That is
Billy Corrigan.
sorry. It's so weird. I don't know this. Is that a popular name? I don't know if it's a popular
So
name.
I don't
but,
think
like,
Sam Boney is a popular
I've never heard the name.
Well,
before in my
so okay,
life.
wait, hang on. I'm like, I know this is weird, but I was on a text thread.
Yeah.
Oh God, I had been like January.
Not with a Sam Boney.
Yes.
This is
Sam
not a
Bonet?
Hold on, wait a minute. You were on a group chat.
B-O-N-I. B-O-N-I.
Yeah, it's Boni.
The reason why I know that I don't know this guy, but I know somebody
Okay.
who knows somebody with that name.
All right. Well,
it can't be the
and
same person. though.
Everybody kept talking about it on the thread because everyone called him Zamboni. Like
yeah,
the thing
everybody
that
called him
cleans the
Sam
ice.
Boney for sure.
Shut up.
Jeez.
So,
Wait,
anyways,
There's no way.
Is that true? Really?
that's a true.
Like,
Oh
did they
yeah,
call him
yeah.
that?
Well, he ended up lighting the Christmas tree thing on fire.
What?
Yeah. Well, we hung out there, and he's like, he kept talking some nonsense, and he's like, Christmas trees aren't flammable, and I'm like, what? I'm like, no, they're definitely
No,
flammable.
they're super flammable.
And he's like, no, they can't be because they go in your house. And he's the type of guy that had a Zippo lighter.
Yeah.
Safety
And,
first.
and so I'm like, Zamboni, don't do it. And sure enough, he sparks one underneath.
Holy
And
crap.
it just starts like, it's like dominoes. Foosh, foosh,
Oh
foosh,
my
foosh,
God.
foosh,
Wait,
foosh,
let the Christmas tree
Yes.
on
Did you-
fire?
Oh, I ran home.
Get the hell out of there!
Yeah, I ran home.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, no, Sam Boney, I think I think he was an arson addict, and he ended up having to leave the state.
Wait, Deborah,
Where did he go?
do you still have this text thread that
Yeah.
has the
I do actually.
Sam Boney's
yeah.
not the type of guy you want to be involved with.
Well, not
Hold
if
on.
he's an arsonist.
Yeah.
Hang on. So this guy, I don't know where he's from. I don't know a whole lot about him, but everyone calls him Zamboni.
Zamboni,
But
yeah.
then they also called him Matt
Okay.
because he sounds like
If you
What was
don't
that?
you say it. Don't you say Matthew McConaughey.
yes.
Do not
That's
say
who
that.
it is.
That-
Yes. No, it is.
What?
In
Is this
sixth
the same
grade,
guy?
in sixth grade, the guy was doing the best dazed and confused.
Hang
all
on.
right, all right, all right.
Is this inappropriate? Can I text you his number?
Okay, yeah, you text me.
Could you reach
his-
out to him and just?
Oh God, I
What
don't
is
know
a
if I want.
freaking
Random?
odds, dude?
I don't.
Hang on.
Okay,
I'm
text
still
it to
hung
me.
up on the fact that you're saying he sounds like Matthew McConaughey.
No, so
He
Dazed and
does. Well,
Confused
I don't know
was
if
a
he does,
great
but he-
movie, and he would always be like, "You know what I like about middle school?
What?
I stay the same
Hang on,
age.
check your text.
Okay.
I just sent it over to you. Yeah, I don't know him again, but everyone called him Matt. I was so confused. I'm like, who is this Zamboni?
I'm just calling right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
So he would say stuff like, girls stay the same age and I get older.
Hey, I don't want him to get mad.
Just call him. Oh, there it goes.
Oh my God. You're calling an arsonist.
God, I hope he doesn't pick up.
We're talking to Zamboni.
Don't pick up.
Well, hello there.
Oh.
You've reached the voicemail saying,
Oh, we got
I can't get now, but if you leave your name and number, I'll call you back.
Oh,
At the tone.
You have,
What the
you
crap?
have to leave him a voicemail.
Are you
Would
not
hang
gonna-
up?
You're not
all right,
gonna-
yeah, I'll call him back.
No, don't call him
twice in a
back.
row.
We don't want to talk to
Holy
him.
crap. That's him to a
Is
T.
that him?
That's him. That's easily him. Who the hell else is going to be named Zamboni and talk like Matthew
And talk like
McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey.
We need
I don't know.
to let Debra's friends know they're in danger.
Oh,
Yeah, because he will light their house on
He's an
fire.
arse.
He's
Well,
gonna
now
light the
he
whole state on
knows.
fire.
At least he knows now that Christmas trees are flammable.
Amen. So, in honor of our guest, we are covering a California story this time around.
California.
Yeah, so we do believe that Florida owns the title for weird happenings and legends and stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we own, like, we don't have a monopoly on crazy, right?
No,
We
You know
own
what
the
I mean?
country.
No, we own the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to
are-
highlight one of California's strange occurrences.
Exciting.
I love
Nice.
it.
I think
I
it's going
love
to be
it.
cool.
One
Yeah,
of
let's see.
many.
So the night of February 24th, 1942 in Los Angeles started off like any other.
Okay, how was that?
Pretty chill.
Okay.
Yeah, a pretty relaxing night. People were settling down. Businesses
Sounds
were
nice.
starting to close. The town was actually a little sleepier back then.
Oh, really?
Sounds nice.
It's still a big city, right? But it's 1940s, so LA was a little less hectic, I guess you could
Everybody
say.
was more chill back then.
Everybody's
I
chill.
think so.
Definitely.
Just that
Before
time
the
in our
50s,
country.
yeah, anything's
Right.
chill.
So everyone's relaxed when all of a sudden, U.S. naval intelligence issues a warning that an attack on mainland California could be expected within the next 10 hours.
This is the 40s.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we have 9 hours to get out.
What do you do with 9 hours left?
I don't know. Drive further inland.
Yeah. You got to go
Oh.
to Florida.
I instantly thought sexy time, and I was like,
Head to
that's
Florida for sure.
Yeah,
Go
not
east.
for 9 hours. but I think that's enough to really ruin your day.
Oh, for
Spike
sure.
your anxiety for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So an alert was called at 7:18.
I'd probably be like, finally.
Yeah.
You've been waiting for this
I've
alert.
been waiting for
Let's
this.
go.
Let's go.
An alert was called for 7:18 p.m.
Okay.
But then it was lifted at 10:23 p.m. when nothing ever happened. So only
It's only
3
3
hours. Yeah.
hours.
So an alert's called. People are stressed out. You're packing your things. You're kind of bunkering down.
Yeah.
3 hours later, the alert is lifted.
And you're in the
Okay.
40s. Let's say you left, though.
Right.
You don't get notice. How do you
You
know?
know.
You just keep
You're
going.
driving
You
for
keep going to
days.
the East
Yeah.
Coast.
You think you could make it to Nebraska in 10 hours from California?
No, it takes like 15.
See?
Yeah. And the
I see.
40s cars are slower.
They
Oh,
were
yeah.
slow.
You
We're
got
talking,
20
we're
hours.
talking months.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least a wagon wheel.
Yeah. So for a 3-hour window, like the citizens of LA are just stressed out. Like, what in the world's going on?
Looking at the sky, probably.
Well, no, they were. They've just been told there's a real chance that an attack on mainland U.S. soil is imminent, and they're on high alert for 3 hours, and then nothing. Like that's just like a it's
Psych.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Probably because it's coming via torpedo.
Uh-oh.
Right,
like-
maybe. So somehow, like everyone manages to just kind of go about their business. Like they climb in bed,
Uh-oh.
they ignore the stress of the last little bit,
Okay.
and they go night night.
That's confidence.
I
Right there.
know that's a weird thing,
Because
but
you
like
know what will keep me up? A cricket outside.
sure,
And I'm wide awake stressing about it. I'm like,
same.
just go to sleep. If I'm sleeping, you should sleep. But a bomb attack,
I know.
I'd be up.
Back in the 40s,
Yeah,
people are chill.
you're staying up.
I'm
You're
staying up.
definitely
Yeah. Amen.
So everybody's night, and a
Aw.
few hours later, 2:25 in the morning,
Mm.
air raid sirens start
Oh
going
my
off
gosh.
all throughout Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Okay, so which by the way, if you haven't ever heard like an air raid siren,
It's horrific.
yeah, you can find them on YouTube. They're terrifying.
Let me do it.
Florida.
Let me do it for you.
Go ahead.
Right.
Imagine-
Let me,
Imagine that.
let me keep doing it.
One more
Sounds a
time.
little bit like a dying cat.
Yeah, or something.
Oh, rest in peace, all the different.
That's the
cats.
sound Cameron was making with his appendix at the dance.
Yes.
But that was to that Flow Rider song.
I know. So it's just this loud, awful sound blasting throughout the city. And then following the air raid sirens, a total blackout is ordered across the county, meaning that lights out everywhere. So street lights, every light in the house, car lights.
Yeah.
So they're issuing just a total blackout across LA.
I think immediately, I've gone blind.
Right. So
What's happening?
people are flipping their lights off. They're getting under tables. They're hiding.
Yeah.
And then it's just like silence.
A good wooden table, though, is supposed to stop that.
Right.
Stop that bomb raid
Yeah,
right
a
there.
solid table. People are like, oh, I didn't think this Americans had tables.
I always feel safe under one. So just imagine this. Like you're on high alert from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. Do you think it's a false alarm? Nothing happens.
Yeah.
So you go to bed, and then while you're sound asleep at 2 in the morning,
Nope.
sirens start going off. The government issues a total blackout.
Oh my God.
And now you're just sitting in complete darkness with your family waiting for something to happen, like something
for
ominous.
death.
Yeah, to happen. So it was in this time period that people started seeing strange things in the sky.
What? Oh, that's death, instant death.
So Josh called it. Some folks reported blue lights darting through the clouds. And other people reported seeing triangular lights showing up, disappearing, and then reappearing half a mile away.
Wow.
Okay.
Deborah, do you have any recollection of this?
Well, I wasn't around in the 40s, but we did talk about this
Yes.
on our pod.
Oh,
But
she
you're
knows what's
filling in a
happening.
lot of the details, so I like it.
goodness.
How many
Well-
episodes ago? Do you remember?
Gosh, it had to been like 4 or 5.
Oh my
Like-
So
gosh.
I
people
don't-
need to check that out then. Yeah. So it's interesting because, you're under this kind of air raid lockdown. The
This
lights
is
are out,
scary.
but everybody wants to go outside and see what these weird lights are.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, of
Right.
course.
So if you're in the suburbs,
Just bring the table.
yeah, as long as you're under the table,
Yeah.
you're safe.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can hold it up in the air, but you just have to be under it.
And take some peeks.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
So in the suburbs, like folks were outside on the front lawn under their table, looking up at the sky to
Okay.
see if they can see what's going on. Downtown, the rooftops are covered with people trying to see for themselves, like what in the world's going on
It's
out
hard
here.
to get a table on the roof, but yeah, it happened.
Yeah, right. So there's silence, there's a blackout, then the
Yeah.
witnessing of lights. All this happens in like a 45-minute window. So
No.
2 a.m. the sirens go off.
I
The
imagine
blackout's ordered.
clumps of my hair falling out.
Yeah,
Just from pure stress.
Definitely.
I'm instantly vomiting.
Yes.
Yeah, just like, what do I do? Running
Where's
around.
Wayne? Follow the vomit trail.
Exactly. This all goes on for about 45 minutes
Yeah.
before the silence was interrupted by the deafening sound of 50 caliber machine guns
What?
firing 12-pound anti-aircraft shells all over the sky.
okay. 12 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big bullet.
How big was your baby when it was born?
7 pounds 7 ounces.
Wow. So add like
a baby and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 babies.
Add another baby.
If you put a
on
baby
that.
and a half into a cannon, that's what it sounded
Oh
like.
my god.
You think you could take down a UFO?
I
A
think
baby
so.
and a half in a cannon?
I think so.
Okay. You cut it horizontally?
It's estimated that thousands of these shells are fired into the
Thousands
sky.
of babies.
Yeah. So from
Infantry. It was infantry.
Oh my gosh.
he's been
this
waiting
guy.
83 episodes for
I've
that
been
joke.
waiting.
Infantry.
So from 3 a.m. until 4 a.m., anti-aircraft weaponry was fired all around the skies of Los Angeles.
I really hate
Jeez.
to be like just like a boat in the ocean going, what the
Oh, yeah.
what the hell's happening?
I know.
Who's
So-
shooting at me?
Witnesses say the sky was lit up like it was noon, like it was like
Oh,
that
that's
much, like
scary.
like that much fire was coming out. So, random fires break out all over the city. It's pure confusion and chaos. Witnesses on the ground reported seeing American aircraft pilots
What?
flying low over the city. The LAPD scrambles to try and get everyone back inside to take cover under the tables.
Yeah, yeah. Get in there. We'll beat you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's wild. So this thing goes on until sunrise. The blackout's lifted. Everyone comes outside to start surveying the damage. Buildings and vehicles all over the city of LA were damaged, and
Yeah.
5 civilians were killed.
Wow, that's
Okay.
it though.
In the
Yeah,
chaos.
It's not
I
that
know.
bad.
They were parachuting.
I don't want to
Just a bat-
downplay it, but
Right.
I mean, if you're talking about thousands of
Yeah.
The babies fell on
Baby
the head.
bombs going out there.
Exactly.
Baby bombs, right.
Yeah.
We're dropping all over the city.
Yeah.
It's my first skydive. I'm doing it at night.
We'll see what
We'll
happens.
see what happens. Kind of scared, but I'm gonna wear this light.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So newspapers across the country start running the story, and before long, everyone in the U.S. is talking about the Battle of Los Angeles. Okay,
Whoa.
so like it's
Rage
just like
Against the Machine album.
talk of the
Nice.
town, right? The issue is no one really knows what happened. Like no one has any answers. So a press conference was held, and the
Okay.
Secretary of the Navy, a man named Frank Knox, said that it was all a big false alarm
Pardon?
due to
What?
war nerves.
Okay, so
War
they were just
nerves.
firing at what though?
That's the thing. That's what people were asking a lot of questions about. Basically, the federal response was nothing to see here. Carry on, citizens.
Shoot.
You know, we're a whole town, though. We saw.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be like either it's a huge embarrassing failure or aliens. Like
Sure.
it has to be one
Bingo.
or the other.
And both of those are lose-lose. I
Yeah.
mean, that's those are
For
both
the
terrible
government, yeah.
situations. But the citizens, they weren't having it. Like they wanted answers, and there
Yes.
were too many witnesses to not give them some kind of answer, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
so people were dead, property was damaged, and thousands of Americans saw with their own eyes these strange lights, and they heard with their own ears, hours of anti-aircraft gunfire.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I think I would remember.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I think so.
So newspapers along the Pacific start running headlines about government cover-ups. So the story
Absolutely.
starts to shift a bit,
Yeah.
right? So now
They wouldn't do that to us though.
No. I think once the government says, hey, what you experienced, you didn't.
Yeah, I believe it.
just believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've always said that on the show.
Just believe the government.
Everything they say, they have your best interest at
And
heart.
Disney.
And Disney.
And Disney.
Right. They're the same thing.
They're the same thing.
They're the same thing. So, Congressional Representative Leland Ford of Santa Monica,
Love it.
he called for Congress to investigate, saying none of the explanations so far offered legitimate answers.
You mean the explanation of nothing happened?
Yeah, just don't worry about it. He goes on to say, you're going to have a difficult time covering this up when it was witnessed by upwards of 2 million people.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That's a big one.
So here's the thing about that cover up. That's pretty much exactly what the U.S. government succeeded in doing.
They covered it up.
They covered it up.
Well, they just refused to answer.
Well,
right?
they offered more excuses, and then they started talking about weather balloons and mistaken identities, and then they just accused everybody in LA of having anxiety.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
yeah, afterwards,
Yeah, exactly.
PTSD.
It's a city that never sleeps.
And, and then
so, I mean-
eventually the press stops talking
Is
about
it?
it. The government stops
It's
talking
not.
about it. Yeah.
got her.
Deborah sleeps.
So everyone, like, because the press stops talking about it and the government hushes about it, it just the conversation changes, mainly because the U.S. found themselves in the middle of World War II.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like it was an easy distraction, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
I could see that.
There's
Everyone's
other
being-
things on the mind.
yeah, like you're being drafted, you're sent overseas. So before long, the Battle of Los Angeles is all but forgotten about. But the interesting thing about the Battle of LA is the timing of the incident, because it took place around 2 months after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
Oh, so we were very sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of already involved. And at that time, there were a ton of rumors floating around
Yeah.
that if there was an attack on the mainland US, it would be on the West Coast in California.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. So the American people were constantly being reassured that this was impossible, or it could never happen.
Yeah.
You're safe on American soil. But when you dig a little deeper, you find another piece of the puzzle that no one was talking about. And that's after basically Pearl Harbor happened.
Uh-huh.
7, this is a confirmed fact now, unclassified.
Okay.
7 Japanese submarines
No.
patrolled the coast of California almost constantly after the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Well, for sharks, right? They were patrolling for sharks?
Maybe,
Yes.
but they sank 2 merchant ships
Oh.
and damaged 6 more. Okay?
Okay.
That's something that no one talks about. This is unclassified. So, another unclassified fact is that the day before the Battle of LA, a Japanese submarine attacked several off the coast kind of sites in Santa Barbara before it was chased away by the U.S. Navy. So, the day before the attack on LA, a submarine bombs an oil field off of Santa Barbara.
Whoa.
Oil,
Okay.
we wouldn't do anything for
No,
that.
that
little
doesn't sound
suspect.
like us.
That's suspect, right?
Yeah.
So both of these incidents go against the administration's claims that an attack on the mainland was impossible.
Oh, yeah.
And so after the situation in LA, newspapers start circulating this photo that many people believe show an unidentified flying object.
Yikers.
So it's very interesting that initially the press is like, hey, this is a cover up,
Yep.
something's going on.
Yep.
And then the government says, nothing to see here, don't worry about it.
Nothing happened.
And then when rumors start coming out about these Japanese submarines patrolling the coast, all of a sudden the press is like, hey, look at this UFO. There's a photo of this
Don't look
UFO.
under the water.
Yeah, look up here. Look
Look
at the
up.
skies, right?
Yeah.
Remember those lights you saw? So basically, this photo, and you can find it online if you search for the Battle of LA.
Okay.
It's got spotlights pointed towards the sky at these weird lights, and spectators claim those are in fact the lights they saw the night that they were outside under their tables.
That's
Right.
scary. I've always been scared of stars in general. So to have
Same.
other closer stars,
Right.
I'd be like, nish.
I don't like that at all.
No.
So at first, the government goes with their usual tried and true response of, "Oh, that's a weather balloon.
Yeah.
That's just a weather
We
balloon."
launch a lot of weather balloons.
We do that a
And
lot.
usually to bring them down, they fire 12-pound babies.
Yeah, for hours.
Baby bombs right into them.
For
yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Just grab onto the balloon, baby.
Well, what's
Pull it down.
interesting is
Pull it down.
the moment this like UFO story starts gaining weight,
Yep.
the U.S. government actually agrees with it and goes, "Yeah, it's probably that."
Oh, well, that's
Right, Cameron.
Nice.
So, like, the rational question is, what on earth scares the government so much that they're willing to admit that the attack on LA was probably aliens?
what on earth scares the U.S. government so much? I can't
Weather
remember the
balloons.
rest. Weather balloons
Yeah.
do scare them.
Right. I think the answer is like, not only did the Japanese get close to mainland,
Yep.
they actually did attack.
Well,
Yeah.
just the fact that they felt like they were not even undefeated, but like you can't even touch us.
Right.
You
Exactly.
literally can't
So
get
good.
here.
Yeah, you can
Well,
get here.
And I think in an effort to like prevent widespread panic, the U.S. government tries to cover it up by going, "Oh, it's weather balloons, it's aliens, whatever." Like,
Yeah.
just don't think an enemy combatant got this close
Yeah.
to do anything.
Don't think our Navy
Because
failed
you're going
to
to
patrol.
cause mass hysteria.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the propaganda that the U.S. was using at the time actually, benefited the Japanese, because the U.S. propaganda, it showed Japanese people as like very ignorant, small-minded people.
Oh, if we can't defeat them, then what?
Right.
Yeah.
And
We're
in
the
reality-
big bad American army, right?
Right.
We should be able to defeat everybody.
And that's the thing, is that propaganda backfired against us because the
Yikers.
Japanese were super intelligent.
Yeah,
They were able
Mm-hmm.
to not only launch one, but 3 surprise attacks
that is scary.
against the United States. So basically, to this day, the official statement is that a weather balloon triggered
Mm-hmm.
a false alarm over the skies of Los Angeles. But if you're like us, you know a cover up when you see one. And the Battle of
yeah.
LA has a lot of unanswered questions.
It
And we
does.
want answers.
We want
We do
answers.
want
That's why
answers.
Deborah's here. Well,
Deborah.
she's
our
her
connection.
I know, and I wish I had answers, but yeah, this was actually on episode 51 on Spark My Interest. It's
Get
called
it.
Simply Taboo, and it
Come
was
on.
an article that Jesse brought in. We didn't
She
get
would
into all the
bring
details,
that
so I'm
one.
really glad that you covered everything. It was obviously very interesting to us because we lived there, and I had never heard of it.
I think, but what's interesting is we heard that more recently when the Navy pilots saw that kind of drone
Oh,
thing in the
yeah.
footage. The government
The
was
Tic
like,
Tac.
yeah.
They
And the
call it
government was
Tic
like, yeah, it's probably aliens.
Yeah.
Like,
what
anytime
the-
the government admits to that, it's like, we know what you're up to.
Yeah.
You're
Well, I
covering
feel
something
like-
up.
They think that enough people don't believe in aliens. Like Deborah said, it's not going to cause mass hysteria.
Yeah, and it didn't.
Right.
Which is weird.
And I think the easiest thing to cover up would be, like the invasion of Europe shortly after. No one's talking about what happened in LA when
Exactly.
only 5 people died.
5 people died.
Right, yeah. And, when you lost 100,000 shortly after that on the
true.
beaches, in Europe.
Yeah.
So
I think what we're trying to say, Deborah, is how dare you?
How
I
dare
think
you?
so.
Jesus.
I know, I was there
As an entire
What
city.
the hell were you thinking?
for sure. Before I get into that, I want to take a nice
Oh,
taste
hello.
of
What you
my
got there?
Come
Martinelli's
on.
here before I go into it.
Martinelli's.
Drinking Martinelli's.
We always
So
demand
delicious.
our guests to take a sip
So
of a
crisp and
beverage out of
delicious.
a straw.
And review it for us.
Yeah.
Do it.
Exactly. I mean, if you have the straw, why not use it? It's perfect
Amen.
for this little
Amen.
tiny,
That's
adorable
true.
bottle.
Right.
Now, if you do want to get a hold of us or you'd like to find us, Spark My Interest is across all podcast platforms.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can find us at Twitter at interest_spark. You can also find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Spark My Interest Podcast. And we would absolutely love
great
to hear
show.
from you. We would love to hear anybody kind of just sending us articles that you find really interesting. We would love to show them or share them on the show when we have our listener specials. So Florida Men did it before, and we appreciated that as well. And so we would love to hear from anybody who has something interesting to share.
Absolutely.
on.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I know this
What
is
is
not really. Holy sugar!
What?
It's Sam Boney.
Wait, he's
back.
calling
calling
back?
you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I can't answer.
That's what the submarine noise is?
Yeah, sorry. Holy
Are you
garbage.
joking?
No,
Or is it
it's-
real?
It said
Is he
Sam
really
Boney on it.
Hey, what are you
Okay,
doing?
guys.
Did you answer it?
No, I didn't answer it. Sorry. I don't like
Are
when
you joking
boys.
though? Did he or
No,
did that
he was
number really
calling
call
back.
you back?
Yeah. Let me go to my recent
310 number. It's a 310 number?
Let's see. Yeah. 310.
Oh
Jesus.
my.
Okay. He left a voicemail.
Shut up.
All right. I'm not going to listen to it now. It could be like really revealing.
Okay.
Wait, can you listen to it on our pod?
I'll play it on yours because I'm not going to play it on ours. Because
Oh, I'm so curious.
all right,
There you have
I'll
it.
play it on your show.
Okay.
Let's go. Check out
scary.
my
That's
interest to
great.
hear it. Let's go.